Hello everyone, I'm Ryan from Fireside Yankees. In today's video, we're going to be talking about whether Aaron Boone being retained or not matters. I guess that's kind of a weird question to ask because, a lot of people are very against Aaron Boone, and I understand the gripes of Aaron Boone. I feel like he's a very, I think he's a very reactive and not a very proactive manager in terms of, his bullpen decisions. We'll get into all of that stuff, of course. The pros and cons of bringing Boone back, whether it's one of those decisions where, if the Yankees get it wrong, it can affect them long term and it can affect them big time. All of that stuff. So with that being said, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into today's video.
Got him! The pitch to Stanton, swung on, and drilled deep to left field. There it goes! 21. That one is driven out to center field and deep. Going back, Springer on the track, looking up, see ya!
So Aaron Boone most likely is coming back. There's a lot of reports that say that Hal is inclined to bring him back, that they do like him, that the clubhouse likes him. And as for my opinion on that, I mean, considering the managerial market where you have guys like Buck Showalter, Bruce Bochy, Jace Tingler, I guess is an option, but none of those options really make me think that they're better than Aaron Boone. And that may be like, well, you need a new voice in there, but I don't think you should just change for the sake of changing. I think you should change if you have a clear, superior option. I think Carlos Beltran would be a nice fit, but I don't know if the clubhouse would respond better to Carlos Beltran or Aaron Boone. A lot of this has to do with how the clubhouse feels about Aaron Boone. The Yankees didn't move off of Girardi due to, success or not succeeding. It wasn't a matter of they moved off of Girardi because he couldn't bring a ring in 2017. If they were going to move off of Girardi due to a lack of success, that would have happened either after 2013, after 2014, after 2015, after 2016. It happened after 2017 because he really started to lose the clubhouse. And Aaron Boone has not lost his clubhouse. The clubhouse respects him. They respond well to what he does. And quite frankly, I think there is a level of blame Boone holds in terms of some games in the regular season he did not react proactively, and I mentioned this before, where he has this tendency to not pull starters in time. He kind of waits until said starter is no longer dealing to pull them, and it can burn him. He was very fortunate to have the bullpen depth that he had coming down the stretch, and it saved him. I think of that game against Toronto where the Yankees started clobbering Robbie Ray, where if he had pulled Corey Kluber one batter sooner, you could have prevented Vladimir Guerrero Jr. from nearly hitting a home run and hitting a double there, which gave Toronto that lead. It would be a very brief, short-lived lead as the Yankees would go on to hit 3 home runs in that inning. But it's just an example of those are not the type of decisions you want to be making in late September games with playoff implications, or in the playoffs if Aaron Boone is in that spot next season. And I don't know if that's, I don't know if there are, I don't know if Buck Showalter is going to be able to make those decisions better. I honestly don't trust Buck Showalter to pull guys earlier. I think really what we're having a discussion about now is, how do we like Boone's bullpen management? And I don't despise it. And if I don't despise it, then I'm not in the clubhouse. I'm not one of the players on the team. He's a manager of the Yankees roster. He's not managing us, right? He doesn't it's his job isn't to appeal to us. His job is to gain the respect of his locker room, of his clubhouse. And I think that's kind of the difference here. Boone has a very long pedigree in baseball, or a very long line of baseball knowledge. His dad played, his brother played, he played at the major league level, so he clearly does have an established level of respect in the game that would allow him to command respect from his clubhouse, and we've seen that. But I do understand the thought process of, well, can we get better? And you should obviously be thinking about those things whenever anyone hits free agency. It doesn't really matter who that player is unless we're talking about a generational talent or a generational front office executive. You should always consider if there are better options out there. And I just don't think there are for Aaron Boone as of right now. And so I think retaining Boone is fine. I don't think it impacts as much as, other people will lead you to believe. I don't think I care as much about retaining Boone as I do about, improving the roster. How does the lineup look? What's shortstop going to be like? Well, who's our center fielder? Who's our catcher? Are we getting a starter this offseason? You know, those things matter a lot more to me than Aaron Boone. And I think it should matter a lot more to you guys than Aaron Boone as well. So, you know, before you get really upset about Aaron Boone coming back, if he does, which he most likely will, or before you have a strong opinion on it, just remember that the priority is getting a good roster. That rosters win games. That ultimately comes down to the players. I believe Joe Torre had this to say about Aaron Boone, but he says, you know, you're only as good as the players you're managing. So, you know, you could bring in a world-class manager, you know, a guy who's maybe the best manager in baseball, but if your offense is still the slow, non-dynamic, ground ball heavy offense that it was last year, you really aren't going to see a change in results. I think the coaching staff needs to be revamped, with the exception of Matt Blake, Sam Bryant, you know, the pitching guys. Those guys can stick around, but I think the hitting coaches have to go, you know, just so we can get some more data-heavy guys in there who can kind of revamp the offensive side of the ball the way we revamped the pitching side of the ball. But with that being said, that'll wrap up my thoughts about Aaron Boone and him potentially coming back. That's kind of my 2 cents on the managerial debate. It's that as if the clubhouse likes him, they'll bring him back. I'll be okay with it. We just got to focus on how good the roster is going to be for next year and how to improve it. But with that being said, I love you guys very dearly. Thank you for checking out my content. Thank you for tuning in. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ryan out.